Leading up to the release of Witcher 4 trailer at the Game Awards, the staff of CD Projekt Red was actually teasing its reveal. This is the image of a coin which the director of the game and other members at CD Projekt posted on social media. They all teased this image of a coin and told us to stay tuned for what's on the other side. This coin and this image is actually very relevant to Witcher 4, and we'll get back to this coin later, along with some theories and even a guess for the release window of Witcher 4. But first, let's break down the trailer step by step. So the trailer begins showcasing two characters, one going through some sort of ceremony and the other going through preparation for a fight.
Into a remarkably young lass.
Chosen she is, by the gods!
Now as the trailer goes on and we get our first glimpse at Ciri, we get to know that she is now a witcher through and through. Her eyes are like the cat, so she has gone through the trial of the grasses, which turns people into witches. There's no doubt about it. She is now definitely a witcher.
You chose her.
Then the trailer goes on and we get this glimpse of two mountains and a cave in the middle. At this point, we have to go back to the image of that coin, because very clearly this image of the coin is representing this exact cave and the mountain. But if you try to look closely, the sky in this trailer is nothing even close to what is represented on the back side, on the upper side of this coin. We'll get back to this section later. For now, let us continue watching the trailer. So at this point, the girl is doing her ritual thing and Ciri is letting her do that, and she suddenly stops. There's a reason for this. Ciri is trying to hunt the monster, and if Ciri didn't let this girl go through this, then the monster likely wouldn't show himself. So Ciri let her go through this so that the monster would show himself, and when the time came, she sent the girl away and went in for the monster. Also notice the medallion that Ciri is wearing is the one that they revealed earlier. It is the medallion of the lynx. Now as Ciri enters the cave, she starts hearing the noises and she tries to fight the monster, but she can't, because she can't even see him and she can't do anything. At this point, she drinks the Witcher potion. Now, Witcher potions in the book and even in the previous games are a very important part of the Witchers, because they heighten the senses of the Witcher who drinks them. So you would notice that after Ciri drinks the potion, her senses get heightened and she no longer hears all the whispers and the sounds that the monster was probably doing. And now Ciri can even see the monster more clearly in the fog, which means she can finally fight him. And at this point, something very interesting and important happens. Ciri uses water to channel magic. Now, how magic works in the books is that you draw power from the elements. So air, water, earth, all these things are what you would draw power from. You can also draw power from fire, but Yennefer, while she's teaching Ciri about magic, warns Ciri to never draw power from fire, because fire is chaotic and very difficult to control. There's this tweet that Miles, who is the level design lead on Witcher 4, replied to, and it talks about how Ciri completely renounced magic in the desert to save herself. This thing that this person is referring to is a section from the books, a story section where Ciri gets stuck in a desert and she is really out of options when she gets attacked by a monster. In that desperate situation, Ciri tries to draw magic power from fire and it does not end well for her. So because of that, you will notice that Ciri in the Witcher games, like the previous Witcher 3, and even in the story of the books, tries not to use magic as much. Instead of using magic from the elements, she uses the magic of her elder blood. This is where her powers of time and space control comes into play. In Witcher 3, you will notice that Ciri moves around, teleports and all that. That is the power, magic power of her elder blood. But this is pure magic from elements. Another very nice question that somebody brought up is why isn't Ciri using her Lady of Time and Space powers and blinking around like Nightcrawler, which is fair. It is fair because this situation would not be a threat to Ciri. She could just teleport behind this monster easily. There was no need for Ciri to use the elemental magic powers. So the question is why? And my guess is that Ciri no longer has her elder blood. It is either that Ciri lost her elder blood while going through the trial of the grasses to turn into a witcher, or Ciri deliberately went through the trial of the grasses to get rid of the elder blood. In any case, I don't think Ciri has the elder blood in her anymore. And this is the reason why she is drawing power from the elements. Now, as the cinematic trailer continues, Ciri fights this monster and even takes out the chain, which will remind some of the people of Geralt fighting this trigger. And this is definitely an inspiration, I guess, from that scene. And it did happen in the books as well. The chain that Ciri is using is made of silver, which weakens the monsters, and she even added magic on top of it. So it made the chain even stronger. So after she gets rid of the monster, the story takes a bit of a turn. She goes back to the village only to find out that the girl has been killed. She couldn't save her. Now there are few implications to this because knowing CD Projekt Red, this whole cinematic trailer is probably going to be a playable section in the game. Just like Cyberpunk, if you look at the cinematic trailers for that game, you will notice that whatever sections they cover in those cinematic trailers were actually playable bits in the game too. So this whole cinematic trailer section is probably going to be a playable section in the game. It does make you wonder though, when we play this section in the game, will we be able to make different choices? Maybe we are able to save the girl somehow. Well, you never know. That is something we'll find out when the game releases. So now at this point, the trailer ends and we need to talk about a couple of things. So Ciri is obviously going to be the main protagonist of this game. Is that a good decision? Well, I think so, because she is very different from Geralt. There's a very popular quote from Geralt where he talks about how if he had to choose between one evil or another, he would rather not choose at all. That represents Geralt's neutrality. Geralt, in any situation, tries to be neutral, but Ciri, on the other hand, does not act like that. When it comes to choosing between the lesser evil, Ciri always makes the choice. So while Geralt is neutral, or at least tries to be, Ciri does not. I think that is going to be a major part of the storytelling for this game and also the gameplay, because the choices that Ciri makes are the choices that we are making for her. Even in this whole cinematic storyline, I feel like Ciri probably interfered and she was not going after this monster for money. And that is the whole point of Ciri being the main character. Now moving on to some theories, let's go back to that coin. This section obviously was that cliff and this was the cave. Now this section, there are few theories about what this could be. Theory number one is that this is the eclipse, also known as the curse of the black sun. This thing is very prominent in the Witcher universe, and to explain it simply, what they say in the Witcher universe is that some people born under the curse of the black sun bring about calamity. The story of Renfri in the books was based on that curse, and in the games, Anna Henrietta's sister in Blood and Wine DLC actually suffered from the same thing. So could this be the curse of the black sun? Well, I don't think so. Another theory of what this could be is conjunction of spheres. Conjunction of the spheres was an event that happened in the Witcher world a long time ago, and it was because of this event that magic, monsters, and all these different races ended up being on the continent. This event is basically how the world of the Witcher was born. So this symbol, this thing, whatever it is on the coin, could be a sign or a hint for us to say that another conjunction is happening. If I have to choose between one of the two theories, I would definitely go with the conjunction theory instead of the eclipse one. Another reason to not believe in the eclipse theory is because in the cinematic trailer itself, near the end, if you see clearly, the sun is by the horizon and there is no eclipse on the sun at all. So definitely if you are putting both those theories side to side, conjunction is the one that makes more sense. Now another thing to think about is the location of the game. So where exactly is all of this happening? I would say this is the map of the world of The Witcher. This is Kaer Morhen. In the center is mostly where the story of Witcher 3 takes place, Novigrad, Oxenford, Vizima, and the White Orchard area. But the story of Witcher 4, I believe, would take place somewhere north of even Kaer Morhen. So at the north or northeastern area of this map. And the reason for that is actually, I have two reasons for that. First, in the end section of this cinematic trailer, you can actually see some snowy mountains in the background if you look closely. I tried to watch this cinematic trailer at like 0.5 speed, and there was some frame where I noticed some snowy mountains in the back. So that is one reason. Snowy mountains would definitely be somewhere north of this map. Another reason is Jake Lampert. He's an actor who is going to work on The Witcher 4, and he's playing a character named Branko. Oh, there is also a release date here, 2025. We'll get back to the release date thing in a bit. Let's focus on this role, Branko. So for the location of the game, we know that the game will definitely take place somewhere in the Northern Realms rather than somewhere in the south, because this name is prominently Slavic, and Slavic names in the Witcher universe is mostly related to the Northern Realms rather than the Southern. So it is very likely that the game is going to take place way north of Kaer Morhen and nowhere near the south. One more reason for CD Projekt to explore the northern regions of the map is to give us variety. Sure, these areas are interesting, but we have already explored them in Witcher 3. There's this new trilogy they are making, and there is no reason to go back to the old map when they can have the players explore brand new areas. And it also makes a lot more sense for Ciri to go further north, because she would want to stay away from Nilfgaard, which is on the south. Now getting back to the release date section of this image, I don't think the game is going to release in 2025. There is no chance that that is going to happen. There's this video on YouTube from CD Projekt's earning call, and this is from 26 November. There are a couple of important things they talk about in this video. One of them being how Witcher 4 now is in full production. Like majority of the staff is working on Witcher 4, and this has been going on for like quite a few months now. So now that the game is in full production, what could be the release date? Well, another hint for that we get from the same video, and it is around 11-minute mark, where they talk about how they expect their profits to completely explode later, or this is more like their goal to explode around 2025 or 2028. There is no way that their net profits can explode this much between this section without a major release. They have to release Witcher 4 around this section to get sales like this. And for that reason, I would assume that Witcher 4 is going to release somewhere around December 2026 or maybe early 2027. Since the game is also being made on Unreal Engine now, so that will definitely streamline the process of the development. Well, regardless of when the game will release, it is certainly a good time to be a Witcher fan. We have a new game, we have a new book, and lots of new content related to Witcher coming. This cinematic trailer was amazing. It really set the tone correctly for the Witcher universe, and I'm definitely excited to see more. If you are also as excited as me about The Witcher 4, then don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, hit the like button, and I will see you next time.